Today we're going to be talking about the early statehood of North Carolina. What that means is that North Carolina just became a state. I know that's all we know it as, but before then, remember, they were colonies. Let's review. Remember that after the Revolutionary War, the Constitution was signed and all the colonies became their own free states, which is what they wanted all along. However, this meant that they now had to take care of themselves, and North Carolina did not grow quickly. They had very few good roads, they had very few large cities, and almost no schools. However, after 20 years, the government began working to improve the state. Let's talk about some important vocabulary. The first word we're going to talk about is the word capital. Notice how it's spelled with an A at the end, capital, the city in which the state government meets. Every state today has their own capital. Then we have the word county, part of a state larger than a city that has its own government. The county for us is Mecklenburg County. It includes all of the area that we go to school in. So Berry Hill, Uptown, people north of us, like in Lake Norman, they are all in Mecklenburg County. The capital with an O at the end is a building where lawmakers meet. Whew, that can be confusing. We have capital and capital. They sound the same, but they mean different things. Remember, capital with an A is the city in which the state government meets. Capital with an O is a building where lawmakers meet. The capital with an O is usually located in this capital. Now I want you to pause the video and copy the vocab words down into your notebook. Remember to use the same structure that I have here. A new state capital. The first capital of North Carolina was in Newbern, which is on the coast, or as we know it, the beach. However, many lawmakers wanted a new capital location in the center or the middle of the state. Now I want you to stop the video and jot in your notebook. Infer, why would lawmakers want the capital in the middle of the state instead of on the coast? Remember, back in the day they had to travel by horse and wagon, and people from all over the state had to come to meet in the capital. Go ahead and stop the video. Remember to write in complete sentences and use correct capitalization and punctuation. If you said that you inferred that they wanted them to be in the middle of the state because it would be easier for everyone to travel there because North Carolina is so big, then you got it right. It would be easier for people coming from the left side and the right side and the north and the south to meet right in the middle, so it was equal traveling for everyone, especially since they had to travel by wagon and horse. Let's talk about the new capital. Leaders chose land in the Piedmont region for the capital. Remember, the Piedmont region is where we live. They named the town Raleigh after the founder of Roanoke Island County. A capital was built on site, and it still serves as the capital to this day. You might have visited Raleigh before. It is not too far from Charlotte. Here's Raleigh on the map. Charlotte is down here, where my arrow is. Here's where the old capital used to be. So you could see, if you were traveling from all the way over here, it would be a long trip. Now everybody can travel to the center of the state. State improvements. Remember how I said that after 20 years they decided to start making improvements to the state to grow North Carolina? The first improvement they made was for education. By 1846, every county had at least one public school. But don't be fooled, they don't look like Berry Hill. This was a school back in the 1800s, and this was all the kids that attended. This, in the back, is the whole school. It's a lot different than what we have now, isn't it? Over here is what it looked like inside the school. This is the only room they had. They had desks and a chalkboard and a few chairs and books, and that's it. If you want to pause the video and look at the pictures closely, go ahead. Other state improvements included canals, which are waterways, railroads, and plank roads were built to help goods and people travel more easily. Plank roads were made out of pieces of wood laid next to each other. This was a lot easier than traveling in dirt, because when dirt got wet, it would get muddy, and the horses and the wheels would get stuck. Now, you're going to take a quiz on the information.